Alrighty folks, here's our workout of the day. For our warm-up, we have 2 try sets happening. Each move is going to be 30 seconds with 10 seconds of rest. We're going to move through it 2 times before we switch to the next try set, and there's going to be no break in between the last move and the top of the second round. So it's technically 6 moves in a row, if that makes sense. Workout 1.0 here, we have 4 different moves coming at you. It's going to be 50 seconds on to 10 seconds of rest, gone through twice before we move on to the next set of exercises. Workout 2.0, we're going to have 3 different moves, 40 seconds of work to 10 seconds of rest. Each tricep will be done twice before we move on to the next tricep. And then our finisher, we have a fun kind of static hold type finisher. We'll explain it more when we are at that point of the workout. So let's get this party started.
Let's get after it, guys. Let's have some fun today.
Alrighty folks, so if you didn't hear Emerson talk about the equipment that we're going to need, we have a string band, we have 1 heavy weight, there is 1 exercise that we're going to need a heavier weight, we've got a medium set of weights, and a lighter set of weights. If you have no access to one of these bands, feel free to maybe grab one of the smaller loop bands. That could come in helpful for you too if you don't have this big one. For our warm-up, we have 3 different moves coming in strong.
Sweet.
Move number 1, we're starting with Russian twists. So what's going to happen, you can choose to grab a dumbbell, you can choose to go body weight, and we'll leave that up to you. You're going to have proud chest, tall chin, your feet are going to come off the floor in this V-sit position, and you're taking your torso and rotating it side to side. Now let's avoid just rotating through the arms. We want the whole torso to come from one side and reach through to the other. Move number 2, we're doing IYT raises. We have to hit all 3 elements. So this is I, arms are straight up ahead of us. Y, our arms are making a Y shape. And T. So Emerson's feet are just hovering off the floor. You can lift your feet if you have more back mobility, or if this is really challenging for you, you can keep your toes planted on the floor. Move number 3, we're going to pop up and do double pulse reverse lunges. So reverse lunge, pulse, pulse, and stand. Now in this move, I want us to really focus on using mostly the front leg. We're not going to drive up off of that back leg. We want to use the front leg and step up using that quad in the front, okay? So let's try to differentiate between the push and the step. We're looking for the step in this warm-up move. We're going to go through those 3 moves twice before we move on to our next tricep in the warm-up. So I'm going to get the timer up and ready. You guys can situate yourselves at home.
Let's get it on.
Started. 6 moves in 3, 2, 1, and begin. The first 30 seconds is on the clock. Here are our Russian twists. It is most important, guys, to focus first and foremost on the form of this V-sit. If you find that you're crumpling in, you want to try to push that chest up and have better posture, and then start incorporating the movement element into the move. Constantly go through that checklist, folks. You've got 5 seconds left here, and then you'll have 10 seconds to transition to your stomach. So we're setting that weight down, flipping around onto the belly for IYT raises. 3, 2, 1. And begin, folks. You want to really focus on slow and steady movement here. So as you see, M is not trying to go at breakneck speed. He's trying to warm up all of the large muscle groups in his back. We've got some back movements today because core isn't just abs. Core is the entire trunk front to back. So we're going to be working on some back stuff, so we want to make sure that we're warm and ready to go. We're going to pop up and try not to get too lightheaded. Come up at your own speed, and then we're going to do our double pulse reverse lunges. Make sure to alternate each time you step up, the opposite leg comes back. We're going to really work on not bashing that back knee into the floor. You are really just gently pulsing and then really using that front leg to step on top of, not driving hard off of the back leg. We are over halfway right now, so let's really continue focusing on the best posture, the best technique, with a little double pulse at the bottom to get nice and fiery warm. After we're done, we're going right back to the top right away to Russian twists. 10 seconds of rest in between. Situating ourselves and getting ready to go, and begin. Again, really focusing on that V-sit. If you're finding that you're not feeling your core at all, but you feel an awful lot of hips, take those heels and place them down on the floor. That will help with that psoas activation. And keep that chest nice and tall. If your feet are on the floor, maybe think about leaning backwards a little bit more in the V-sit. It will help you activate your core if your feet are on the floor. So continuing on through, Emerson has picked up his pace just slightly to really, really fire up those obliques. We're going back to our bellies for the IYT raises. Again, not meant to be overly fast, really just trying to activate all of those large muscle groups in the back and get them ready to go for a little bit of movement later on in our workout. Again, Emerson's toes are slightly hovered up against the off of the floor. This is a comfortable place for him to be where he feels like he can activate best. Some of you at home might have your feet on the floor, and some of you might have them really high depending on your mobility. Do what works best for you and your body. We've got about 5 seconds left here before we go back to our double pulse lunges. And slowly stepping up, getting back into that lunge position. This is the last move, guys, of this first part of your warm-up. It's flying by. It's a nice, fast-paced workout. Warm-up. We want to get the body warm and ready to go.
Oh yeah,
Do it
feel warm, Heather.
as effective as possible. It's awesome.
Oh.
Little pulses, really stepping up. You notice that Emerson is like lifting his back foot up completely. He is not driving through that foot at all, which means he is doing exactly what I asked him to do and using that front quad. That's fantastic. Maybe that technique will be helpful for you at home too. And rest. So that is the first portion of the warm-up done. Really nice work. So grab some water at home if you need it. Take a second and shake out whatever's feeling a little burny at the moment. And then we're going to move on and show you the next 3 moves. The next 3 moves, again, are going to be in the exact same style as what we just did. Move number 1, we're going to be performing lateral high knees. So you're going to be performing high knees, and you're going to be moving to the side and then moving back. Okay? So you notice Emerson's not using a ton of space. He's finding a little stretch where he can just travel back and forth within, and you guys have the option to do that at home too if you don't have a lot of space. Number 2, we're doing high plank toe touches. So we're in a high plank position, and then we pike up our hips and go to touch our toes. It is very important, guys, that we travel back to the high plank position in between each time. Quite commonly in classes, I've seen this move performed in a pike the entire time, and that's not what we're looking for here. Also, keep in mind that if your mobility or range of motion does not allow you to touch your toes, reach to wherever you can reach to, and that's just as efficient for you, all right? Third move, we're doing low plank, reach, and rotates. So we're in a low plank position. We're going to reach up and then drive that elbow back to the floor. This is going to stretch out through our T-spine, and it's really going to force us to keep tight and in control through the core. You notice that Emerson cannot avoid a little bit of hip lift. However, he is not piking through his hips. He's trying to keep them level as they're twisting, and that's the important differentiation in the hips for this move. Okay? So those 3 moves done twice through, stretch, and then moving on. All right? We're going to get started with this final portion of our warm-up, starting with our lateral high knees in 3, 2, 1, and begin.
Let's hit it, guys.
The timer is on. So our body is already feeling a little bit warmer, seeing as we've already completed the first portion of our warm-up. I want to see you guys driving it pretty hard in this high knee portion here. I want to see a little bit of passion and knowing that there really isn't a lot of agility going on in this workout today. So this might be one of the only chances that you get to really, really move that body in this particular fashion. So that means you can push it a little bit harder. And 10 seconds of rest, folks, and we're going to move to our high plank toe touches. Starting in that high plank position, reaching towards those toes. Emerson has started a little early just to give you the example of what it should be looking like. We're really thinking when we're getting into that plank position, You're almost driving your body over your fingertips. Really stretching through the wrists here as well. It's a really good practice, guys, to push and stretch through the wrists and really drive through the fingertips in these plank positions. It helps gain some more stability and balance in different ways. So we're going to move on next to our low plank reach and rotates. Getting down in that low plank position. Let's start with our arms perfectly parallel. That's the key starting position right there, is our arms are parallel with one another. From there, you will have power to rotate through that bottom rotator cuff to open up and stretch through the T-spine. Folks, the T-spine is this top area of your back here. When we're sitting down at work, it's often looking like this. This is a really great stretch to let us remind ourselves, we can pull back and be open through the chest here. This is a great stretch for that. 10 seconds, and you're immediately going to pop back up to the top to do your lateral high knees. We're feeling fantastic, folks. I can tell that
Starting to sweat.
Starting to sweat. He's hitting his stride. Awesome. You see that he's got opposite hand to opposite knee driving up. Let's try to incorporate our arms in this fashion as well. The higher and harder you drive that hand, the more likely that knee is going to follow suit. So we're pushing hard, we're just over halfway, moving on to our toe touches, immediately following this move. So pushing, pushing, pushing hard through this agility move. You have 4 seconds left here, breathing hard to get right to the end, and relaxing, going down for that high plank toe reach segment coming up next. Awesome. M's ready to go. He started early. He is an advanced member that knows that he can get into the next move early and not have to compromise form or technique, and he'll likely be able to get through the entire portion without stopping. If that seems like something that you could do, definitely get started a little early into the next move. We are just over halfway. You see that nice plank position in between each move. Again, he's not trying to go as fast as he can. He is trying to gain a little bit of mobility. He is trying to push himself to have really good technique. Last but not least, the last round of our low plank reach and rotate, those T-spine rotations. We're going to get started now. Now, if you find getting to the finals move here that this plank is really hard to hold, feel free to drop down to your knees and do the same move on your knees. You're not gonna have as much rotation. You might get stopped a little bit early because your hips can't move as much. However, it might be a little bit easier for your core to sustain this move. Another option here, guys, is just holding that plank position and feeling the core engage. That's a really good regression for beginners. And rest. So that's it.
Warm-up done.
Our warm-up is complete.
Nice.
Grab some water. We're going to go through a little bit of a stretch, and then we're going to get right into workout 1.0. So guys, for our stretching sequence, let's start with some torso rotations. Let's kind of stretch out through the body. So a little micro bend. And again, we are never forcing. We are just going with what feels good. Emerson has his arms kind of just going at whatever kind of, they're not up and strong. They're kind of going to the side. That's perfectly fine. If you guys want a little bit more structure, you can hold your hands high. Again, whatever you think feels best for you. After this, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to stand here. We're going to reach one arm over, and we're going to laterally lean. So we've got some side dips coming up in this workout, which means that we're going to be holding something heavy and really pushing through those obliques. So I want us to stretch really, really long through the side body. Get it ready for a little bit of work. Once we do maybe 2 to 3 each side, depending on what you're feeling, we're going to move into a forward fold position. Nice work. How's that feeling?
Amazing. Low back is loosening up.
Wicked.
You can feel those obliques stretching too.
Awesome. When you complete, guys, you're going to just melt forward into a forward fold position. Your feet can be slightly wider than hips if that feels good. So you're going to grab for opposite elbows if you can really easily touch the floor. If you can't easily touch the floor and you're feeling a little stress in your lower back, take your stance out wider, okay? And do a little micro bend through your knees. This move should be able to relieve tension in the low back and feel like it's elongating your spine. If you're not getting that feeling, go wider. So rotating or oscillating from side to side. And then very, very slowly, you're gonna pop out into a downward dog position, and you're going to pedal out through those feet. There's a couple of moves where we're going to kind of be on the balls of our feet, and our calves are going to be involved in the movement. So it's a really good opportunity now to stretch through any tightness, any Achilles tightness, soleus tightness, hip tightness. It's also a good opportunity to stretch through the shoulders a little bit too, if after yesterday you're feeling tight through the upper body. Or not yesterday, if you're still feeling it from Tuesday, I should say.
Yeah, this week's flying by.
It is, I can't believe it's already Thursday.
Ooh.
Awesome. From here, he's going to pop forward into a high plank position. Good. He's going to drop his hips right down to the floor. So he's in almost like a Sphinx position. If this is too challenging for your lower back, if all you're feeling is the load on your lower back, you're going to go out and wide with your hands, getting your belly a little bit closer to the floor. Okay? If this is still too much, you can go to Sphinx position, which is on your forearms. And that can be a really nice way to just stretch out through the front body here. I want you to just hold this for maybe 2 to 3 breaths, nice and long. If it feels really, really good, maybe even hold on to this move while we're demoing workout 1.0 for you. I personally really love this one. It feels fantastic.
I like it too, Heather.
Awesome. All right, guys, so you could choose to hang out in this position, or you could choose to get up and grab some more water. We are going to go into workout 1.0 and show you what is going on, all right? We have 4 different moves for workout 1.0. There are going to be 50 seconds per move, all right? With 10 seconds of rest in between, you're going to go through each quad set twice before we move on. Quad set number 1. We're going to do a Superman pulse with alternating leg lifts. So you're going to be on your belly. You're going to be in this prone position here. Arms are going to be up overhead, okay? As you pulse your upper body up, one leg is going to lift. Then you're going to return to the floor, and then you're going to alternate which leg lifts here, okay? Again, you don't have to look like the ultimate banana. You just need to have the effort of lifting, even if it's only minimal, all right? All of us are going to feel a little differently in this move, but I promise it's going to be challenging for all. Move number 2, we're going to go into a lateral low plank army crawl. So you're in this low plank position, and you notice how Emerson is going little tiny increments at a time. He is also really focusing on keeping the anterior tilt out of his hips. He's really rocking those hips down and in, and he's keeping the rib cage tucked in. So you notice that he's got that really, really strong low plank position first and foremost. Now guys, if you're feeling really tired or fatiguing through this move, and you notice that your technique is faltering, just hold it. Stop moving and just hold it. Another really great option is what Emerson was just showing here, and you can tap out one side at a time with arms and legs and pull it back in. There's lots of different modifications for that move. Move number 3, we're going to do a resisted dead bug. So if you have a red band, you're going to put a red band on one foot, and you're going to have the opposite part of that red band in your hand. You're going to elongate both that hand and that foot, and then bring back to the center here. Now, you're only going to be able to do this one side for this round. I don't want you switching at halfway for this particular move, only because I feel as though it could take a lot of time for our beginner members. If you are an advanced member and you're able to switch rather quickly, and you want to make that halfway transition, feel free to switch at halfway. Emerson is showing a rather quick method of doing this. If you do not have a red band and all you have is one of these bands, you're going to put this band on your toes like this.
It fits.
It fits. And then you're going to stretch in this manner here. You are going to feel this a little bit more in your hips. So if you're asking the question at home, am I supposed to feel this in my hips? The answer is yes, you're inevitably going to feel it there. If you don't have access to any of these things, you're going to grab a dumbbell or a weight. You're going to hold it back overhead as long as you can, and you're going to alternate with your feet, which causes your core to have to clench harder because you're supporting that extra weight. So
Yeah.
3 different options
Big
for
time.
you at home.
Woo!
If you don't want to do any of those, traditional, unweighted, unbanded dead bugs can also be an option for you. Final move, guys. We're going to put this dumbbell right in front of Emerson. He is going to be doing pivot reverse curls. So his hands are planted on the floor, and you notice his entire body is pivoting with him. This is not for the obliques. We're not coming up on an angle. It's a straight kick out, but he is rotating side to side. Okay? So those are your 4 moves. We're going to start back at the top with our Superman pulse with alternating leg lifts. 50 seconds on to 10 seconds of rest. We're going to get started in 3, 2, 1, and begin. Your timer is on. Good. So you see that this, again, Superman position, not a fast move. We don't want to spasm through the back. We want to make sure that we're doing this in a very calm and effective way. If you can follow Emerson's pace here, this seems like it would be the gold standard. It is nice and slow and controlled. You also have the option to go a little bit slower if you're still figuring out this move. Also, really keep in mind that your mobility doesn't have to look like Emerson's. If you can't get your feet up that high, that's okay. Get them to where you can. We've got about 10 seconds remaining here before we get into our lateral low plank crawl. So you're in that low plank and you're going army crawl to the side. Then rest. You have 10 seconds to catch your breath and get situated in the second move, lateral low plank army crawls.
Do it, guys. Hoorah!
Good. Getting that checkboard out inside your mind. How do my hips feel? How do my ribs feel? Are my shoulders directly over top of my elbows? Do I look like I'm in a funny position here? Am I able to move without feeling this in my low back? Give yourself that checklist and run through it as many times and as quickly as you can through your mind. That will help you self-regulate through these moves. We are just over halfway, guys. You notice that Emerson, when he gets to one end, he stops, he regains composure, and then he gets back into it. I don't expect you guys to be Superman. You can probably get through a lot of this, but if you're feeling it in the wrong spots, it's time to take a little break and then pop back up when you have the availability to in your body and get to it, working the right spots at the right time and rest. Next, we're going into our resisted dead bugs. Getting the equipment that you're going to need, flipping around onto your back, and begin. Now again, choose what you want to do, folks. If you've got this long band here and you want to switch at halfway, start thinking about what that will look and feel like to make it a nice, fast transition, to get as much work in as possible. If you have the little band around your toes, you don't need to worry about a halfway point. You just keep alternating. Same as if you're carrying the weight overhead. Just keep alternating. We're halfway. Emerson's doing his halfway switch. He's really crushing this move. He's working really, really hard. His shoulders are up off of the floor. His chin is not glued to his chest. He is working at good technique. It is
yes.
looking great. We're going to have about 8 seconds left here, folks, before we move on to our pivot reverse crunches. And rest. 10 seconds, situating yourself so that you have something to pivot around. It is a lot easier to do it properly if there's actually an object there that you might knock if you don't do it properly. So this really encourages that full pull. So he's driving his toes right back in, and that is why we have this object here. It's easy to get a little sloppy if you don't have that. So Emerson has the ability to pick up his pace here a little bit. This one specifically doesn't have to be as slow as possible. If you have the ability to go a little faster and really encourage that burn, feel free to do it. We're just over halfway, guys. Again, staying nice and proud and tall through that chest and encouraging the work in your core. It's really easy to find that feeling and then try to retreat from it. Do not retreat from it. Find that burn and embrace it the whole time. That's the real challenge, right? You've got 3, 2, 1, and rest. We're going to get a little bit longer of a break before we head back. You're welcome. Before we head back to the top with Superman pulse alternating leg lifts, folks. So take a little sip of water. I'm going to take one too. I'm going to set up the timer so we're ready.
Cool. core is feeling it.
Are you ready to go?
I'm pumped. Let's
He's
fly
pumped.
like Superman or
You're
woman here.
pumped. 3,
Woo!
2, 1.
Slide it up.
Last round of the first portion of workout 1.0, guys. We're back to slow moving, precise engagement. Again, you see that Emerson is trying to improve his range of motion through his torso. He's lifting quite high here. He's got a nice strong back. His glutes are engaged as that leg lifts up. This is a lot harder than it looks. On first look, when you're watching someone else do it, you're like, no big deal.
No problem.
But getting down and actually doing this move, it's a slow burn that catches up. Boom, and then it really gets you.
Oh, yeah.
So keep pushing. Keep breathing. Modify if you have to by just lifting maybe legs or torso for a few reps and then getting back into the full expression of the movement. And we're break now.
Oh.
Amazing, guys. We're going to move into our lateral plank army crawls.
Sweet.
So we're getting into that low plank position and beginning. We've got that 50 seconds back on the timer. We are going side to side.
Yeah, here we go.
Here we go.
Woo!
Again, guys, if you are feeling strong fatigue or your technique isn't exactly what you want it to be, that's okay. Focus on that low plank position and then maybe work on just tapping out one side at a time as your more beginner version. Rome wasn't built in a day. You can't expect to get to every single move and hit the full expression of the movement right away or every time. There are so many people that I know who are really advanced members that'll only hang around that advanced expression for the top half of the move and then make sure that they're listening to their body and regressing down as what's appropriate. And that's what I want to see from our members. Next up, guys, we have our resisted dead bug. So we're going to flip on over, get that equipment that's necessary. M is trying the version here with the dumbbell. So if you're on M's technique here, if you're also using the dumbbell, you can take a little glance up and make sure you're doing it correctly. You are really focusing, guys, on slow and controlled legs here. You also really want to focus on keeping that lower back glute down. If I was to take my palm, I don't want to fit it underneath his back. I want his back so compressed to the floor that I can't fit my hand in there. That is ideal. If we try to arch away from the floor, then we're using a lot more back than we should be. Awesome. Keep persevering through this move, guys. Keep embracing the feeling of the core. Do not retreat from that feeling. The more you retreat from it, the less you're going to get. We are almost there and resting. Moving on to our pivot reverse crunch for the last time, and then we're going to introduce 4 new moves. And beginning. Really good work, guys. Really good perseverance. I have a feeling that you are 5 out of 5 chili peppers right now.
So.
Yes. This is a good thing.
Let's pick this up.
Yeah, we want to build a little bit of endurance in that core. It's really important for so many other things that we do. You're hitting up leg day, guess what you need? Core. You're hitting up upper body day on a Tuesday, guess what you need? Core. You're doing any kind of compound movement on a Friday or Saturday, Emerson, what do we need? Core. So this is a really important day for you guys. You need to just slam it. We've got almost 10 seconds left, guys. We're almost to the end here. You get a prolonged break with some lovely water. And relax. Beautiful work. Nice job finishing strong, man. We are going to throw 4 new moves your way. Grab some water, tune on in, and watch these next 4 moves. Do you need some water? Do you need
got a little sip?
Yep, me too. It's dry in here today. I'm talking so much.
I know, I can feel it.
All right. Next 4 move, folks. You're going to need a heavy weight for the first move. For the first move, we're going to be doing side bends. Yes, you could also use a band if you do not have access to a heavy weight. Emerson will show you the banded version after. So you want to keep your body nice and straight. You're not piking hard through the hips. You're keeping your glutes tucked in. From here, you are going to side bend with the weight and then use your core to pull you back up. This isn't just to like, we're just going to move through this. You're using this part of your body to drive you back together, okay? You should feel really intense power through that side body. Move, yes, and then with the band, you're stepping on the band like this. You're making a lot of tension there. And as you stand tall again, that tension will give the resistance that you need to feel that core burn. Move number 2. We're going to be doing side plank hip dips. Getting in that side plank position. You want your shoulder directly over top of that elbow. I would encourage palms down on the turf so you can try to not point load that shoulder and balance all the way from elbow to fingertips. From here, guys, you are dipping down to the floor and back up. If you are more of a beginner, you will bend your bottom knee, or you can take your top leg over, okay? There's a couple of different options to make it a little bit easier for beginner members.
Still very effective.
Very effective. We are going to try as hard as we can, especially if you're an advanced member, to go for the full 50 seconds on one side, and then the next round switch. However, if you're a beginner member and you're feeling like you're on the sun, you know, you can switch at that 25-second point. Use your own discretion, folks. You know what your level is. Next up, we have slow sprinter sit-ups. So as he's doing his sit-up, he's driving one knee into his chest. The emphasis is on slow. You notice how much control it takes to go slowly and resist gravity and then pull yourself back up. Let's really focus on that speed. Final move, we're going to be going into a side crunch. So you notice that both Emerson's knees are driving up into his elbow. His bottom elbow, his left arm, is bracing on the floor to help him stay balanced. You're going to feel some oblique love today, folks. If you haven't noticed, we have oblique on oblique on oblique.
Oblique?
On oblique.
More
And
oblique.
you're going to feel things tomorrow, and you're going to message us and be like, wow, this is something that I love and I've never felt before, and I'm so thankful.
You got a low oblique, and you got an oblique.
You get an oblique, and you... All right, guys, we're going to set it up. We're going into our side bends first, so grab either that band or that heavy weight. We're going to get started in 3, in 2, in 1, and begin. Your timer is on. Lovely, lovely. Again, we are going to work on keeping a little bit of engagement through our glutes and to keep our rib cage chopped in so that we have access to the right muscle groups. And when I say when we have access, sometimes in some body positions, we are unable to actually use muscle groups. So if we're making sure that we're situated in the right position, those muscle groups will have a very strong fighting chance to be able to work properly. And that's what we're looking for here. Emerson is demonstrating a little bit of perfection in this move. We want to make sure that we're looking like this. He is nice straight up and down. He's getting a really great range of motion. Resting through this move, we're getting into our side plank for our side plank hip dips. Now you notice that Emerson did his first move on the right, and he's choosing to do his second move on the left. That's a smarty pants move. That means that this side gets to rest while this side is now working. So maybe try to give a little strategy to these 4 moves and make sure you're going one side to the next side to the next side and try to remember. Again, Emerson is working really hard on keeping himself from piking. Piking means, guys, that your hips are doing this. We don't want this to happen. This activates the wrong body parts. We want to keep those hips tucked in and those glutes are squeezed in order to make sure that we're doing it correctly. Emerson switched at halfway, which is fantastic. And he's showing a more beginner modification here, which is also fantastic. He is listening to his body. Now, resting, folks, we're going to move to our slow sprinter sit-ups.
This is intense.
It is intense. The funny thing about the word slow, on a cardio day, if we were to say to you, we have a slow move, everyone would go,
yeah.
Thank God,
Exactly.
you know? But in
Not today.
4-day, slow does not mean easier. Slow means very challenging.
More activation.
You have to be more concentrated on keeping the right body positions if you're going slow, folks.
Instead of rushing your way through.
That's right. So we're really breathing hard. We're really working on that activation. And if you feel like you need little breaks, guys, take the break, count to 3, and pop back up and get minimum 5 reps after each break. Give yourself a goal. We are almost there, and then we're going to move on to our next move. Nice, slow, and controlled. We're moving into our side crunches. A little bit more oblique. So he is driving that supporting elbow into the floor. He's going from elbow to hand to try to support himself and not point load, just elbow into the floor. He is driving his knees up and towards his elbow. He's not simply just pulling his knees in, they're coming up and in.
Oh yeah.
There's a directionality to where the knees are going. Let's really focus on that, guys. Even potentially closing our eyes and feeling that we're hitting the right muscle groups. Halfway switch, guys, you can choose to switch sides. If you don't want to and you want to stick on the same side the whole time, that's cool. But if you're like Emerson here, feel free to switch at halfway. We have 13 seconds remaining in this move before we take a little bit longer of a break to grab a little bit of water and then pop back up to the top for our final round of workout 1.0. And rest.
Gosh.
Really good work. Proud of everybody. I know that was a very hard sequence. Good news. We get to do it again.
That's the best news, so we could be even with our obliques.
We want to be even. All right, grabbing that water, grabbing that heavy dumbbell or band to do the opposite side that we just did. We're going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and begin. Final round of workout 1.0 is on the clock now. I want us to be really focusing on all of the appropriate muscle groups. And what are we doing right now? Obliques. We are working them obliques. That's it. Steady breathing is always incredibly helpful when it comes to core as well. If you are not breathing, if you are holding your breath, really take control or accountability for that. You want to try to breathe through these moves. I know that it's challenging and that the core feels a little different than other muscle groups that we work, but if we don't breathe, we are not able to get through this move in the appropriate way. We've got about 3 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and moving on along to our side plank hip dips. So we're popping into that side plank, folks. If you are switching at halfway, it doesn't matter what side you start on. However, if you did one side for the entire time last time, you obviously are going to have to switch sides this time. So we're really, really working on that technique, keeping the glutes squeezed, keeping a little bit of engagement through the quads and the legs to make sure that we are supporting ourselves as best as possible. Now, you see Emerson is working on a regressed form here. He is feeling this workout. That's the point. Emerson is advanced. He has been doing this stuff for so long. And he's still choosing to listen to his body and to push hard through these moves. That halfway switch happened. He switched the opposite side. We've got about 8 seconds remaining here before we move on to the next move, guys. And relax. You can lay back. You're going into your slow.
You can lay back, Heather.
Sit-ups. Yeah, just take a deep breath. Shavasana. And begin. We were building a workout recently, and Kyle said, I think we should do high-intensity Shavasana. And I really liked that idea.
Just hardcore deep belly breathing.
Really, really good work, guys. Again, really pushing to go nice and slow here. Really pushing to keep control over all of those body parts. It is not an easy ask. You know, this is a hard move. Take that time. Maybe give yourself a goal. Do 10 reps. Take a break for 3 breaths. 10 reps, 3 breaths. Stay consistent with it. We are rounding that bend, folks. Our next move is coming in hot. Workout 1.0 is nearly complete. Finish through this move. Be proud of how you finish off. moving on to the last move of workout 1.0. We're getting into that side crunch position, guys. Again, if you worked the entire time last time on one side, make sure that you're switching and doing the opposite side this time. However, if you're switching at halfway, let's be really vocal with that halfway point. I will help you out, and you will switch at that halfway point. Again, you want to think about driving the knees up and into the elbow. Really good perseverance. You are halfway.
Woo!
Halfway. Let's do it.
Do it. Oof.
Beautiful, guys. Keep it up. We are almost to the end of workout 1.0. That's it. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Working hard and relaxing. Really good work, folks. Good job, Em.
Thank you, buddy.
He's going to take a moment down here. I want to encourage you to take a moment on the floor. Take a deep belly breath. Get that core to relax, especially the back as well. We really want to move loosey-goosey before we head into the next portion of our workout. Now, I'm just going to take a little break. I'm going to explain how workout 2.0 is going to work, and then we'll demo the moves. So workout 2.0, we have 3 different moves. Each move is going to be 40 seconds long with 10 seconds rest, done twice through in a similar style to workout 1.0. After the first 3 moves, we're going to take a bit longer of a break and then pop back up to the top to give you an opportunity to have a little rest and grab some water. There's a little bit more agility in this portion of the workout, so pay close attention. Move number 1, we're going to do weighted bear crawls. So Emerson has a pair of lighter dumbbells. He is holding on to those dumbbells as he crawls along the floor. Now, if you're someone who has wrist pain and you don't like using the dumbbells, you can choose a couple of different things. Thing number 1, we can make it really challenging by having a partner put the ball on your back somewhere. From here, guys, it's going to be even harder to move through if you have an object on your back. Even having a kid or a child in the room, just kind of hold on to it as you move. That could be a really fun option if you do not enjoy holding the weights, okay? If that is not an option for you, just plain ordinary bear crawls is a great way to go. Move number 2, we're going to do V-sit pulses. So you're getting into a V-sit position, and you're going to be pulsing the arms down. Now think about how to make this move most effective. Every time Emerson's elbows are driving down, or his hands, the palms face down, he's giving a little exhale and engaging through the core every single time, okay? Move number 3, we're going to flip around. We're going to perform 2 leg ups. And then we're going to perform 2 Spartan kicks or kick throughs, okay? If you're more of a beginner, feel free to do little versions of this, whatever your mobility suits, okay? So we're going to do those 3 moves, 40 seconds on, 10 seconds of rest, 2 times through. So let's situate ourselves. We're going to get started with our weighted bear crawls first in 3, 2, 1, and begin. 40 seconds is on. We are working on pushing our bodies, on keeping good form. You notice how Emerson is giving a really solid pulse in between each move. He's asking a lot of his quads here. They're gonna burn. This is ideal. We also want to think about taking the rib cage, tucking it up and in, so our core can get some wild engagement here too. It's not just about the legs. We've got about 8 seconds remaining, folks, before we move on to our V-sit pulses. And relax, take that 10 seconds of break, flip around onto your bum. Deep breath, preparing in a V-sit, and begin. Again with this V-sit position, the further you lean back your upper body, the more your core has to work to stabilize you. If you are feeling this so much in your hips, feel free to take your feet down to the floor, okay? There's lots of different options. This move has a lot to do with physiology. If you're someone like Steph Stone and you have legs for days, it might be worth putting those feet on the floor. We've got about 10 seconds remaining in this move. Let's really persevere through it, guys. If the pulsing is becoming too challenging, just folding those arms up and just holding that position and rest. We're going to our 2 leg ups, 2 Spartan kicks coming up next. So finding that space and beginning, folks at home. Let's really crush through this move. Again, this doesn't have to be lightning speed, but I do want to see a little bit of gumption here, a little bit of determination. Sorry, dry air, folks, dry air. That's it. Emerson is pushing through. See how many rounds you can get, and if you can, count your rounds and see where we get.
6.
Amazing. We have 13 seconds left on the clock here, folks, before we get a little bit of a rest and we pop up to the top. Our rest is going to be literally just enough that you can splash your mouth with some water, okay? So grab that water really quickly, give a little bit of a whistle wet, and we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1, and weighted bear crawls we go. Emerson is choosing to do body weight bear crawls this time and really focusing on technique. That is a great way to go, folks. If you're still willing and able to do weighted bear crawls at home, definitely persevere through that. Pick your own adventure, guys. That's it, Emerson. You can do this big push through. We're working so hard, folks. We are really, really killing it here on this Thursday morning. 10 seconds remaining on that timer, folks. Almost complete this first move. And then we're moving back to those V-sit pulses and flipping around, taking a deep breath, centering yourself. Almost time. And V-sit pulses. Really beautiful work. Let's again think. We're doing V-sit pulses in front of the queen. I know that's something she must really enjoy. So we're thinking, we're thinking about that tall posture, that chin up, elongating through the neck, okay? We're always thinking about that posture. Nice work. I love how in these moves, Emerson puts this gigantic smile on his face. Did you know that sometimes in workouts, if you smile and it's really, really big and hard, that it actually feels easier?
Yes.
I promise you it does.
100%.
All right, we're moving on to our 2 leg ups and 2 Spartan kicks. Amazing, guys. Really working through, maybe having in mind the amount that you were able to complete last time and trying to at least keep up with that amount this time. Okay, I'm not going to throw a specific number at you because something that Emerson was able to complete might not be the same as something that one of our beginner members was able to complete. But you've calibrated your own ability in the first round, and now you can try to keep up with that pace in the second round. That's it. We've got 10 seconds remaining here, folks, before we move on to the final portion of Workout 2.0. You're doing fantastic. Keep pushing, breathing, working, and resting. Amazing.
I got 9.
He got 9. I would love to see you guys comment on how many rounds you got through because I think that it is fantastic to be accountable for our own work, our own kind of perseverance. So guys, he's going to grab a quick drink. So am I. We're going to go on to Workout 2.0 Part 2. Again, 3 more moves. Move number 1. We're going to do weighted good mornings with a very specific tempo, okay?
Yeah.
So he's going to grab either a band or a dumbbell, all right? Good mornings, we're going to be working through our back and our posterior chain. So you're going to situate yourself in a deadlift style position, okay? He's going to go 1, 2, 3 counts to the bottom and then 1 count to the top. So nice and slow as he goes down. 1, 2, 3, and lift. Go 1, 2, 3, and 1. Okay? So it's important that you follow the tempo that's provided because it gives you a specific kind of work that we're looking for. You're likely going to feel this in this portion of the back. That's normal for that to be feeling that way. You also are going to be feeling it back here, okay? As long as you're not experiencing pain, you're doing it right. All right? Next move, we're going to do a mini jump, tuck jump, ladder. Let's try to see how many rounds that we can personally get in the first round. And like the first round of Workout 2.0, the next round we go through this, I want you to try to keep up with what you did the first time.
Sweet.
So, mini jump, tuck jump, ladder. So you did 1 mini jump, 1 tuck jump. 2 mini jumps, 1 tuck jump. 3 mini jumps, 1 tuck jump. And then you're going to progress to get to whichever number that you can manage to get to in that 40-second time period, okay? Again, try to keep track and keep up with yourself for the second round through. Next, we're doing oblique wood choppers. Grabbing a weight that suits your athletic capability or whatever you have available. You're going to think that your core is sucked in tight. Imagine that I've got a baseball bat and I'm about to slam you right in the core. You're bracing for that impact. That's the kind of power and tension that you want through that entire oblique move. Again, even with the band feels slightly different. However, the tension through the core does not change. It is staying tight. It is staying ready the entire time. So we're going to go to the top with our weighted good mornings. 40 seconds on the timer. We're going to get started in 3, 2, 1, and begin. We are ready to go. Again, the tempo is 3 counts down, 1 count up. Good. So what I want us to try to avoid is doing the wave as we come up. You want to think your torso from your head to your tailbone is a 2x4. 2x4s do not bend. They stay straight, okay? So we're going down, 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 down. And as we come up, we are not breaking that position. We are pushing those hips forward, and we are driving up as 1. Yeah, really, really good, folks. We're doing it. And on to the next, we've got our mini jump, tuck jump, ladder. Calibrate yourself in this round. Try to keep up next round with your own calibration. And begin. We are sweaty in the studio, folks. There is sweat flying. It's a good day to be alive. Amazing. Keep it up, guys. Really pushing yourselves. I know that we might be a little tender after yesterday's cardio class. There was a lot of jumping. This is one of the only jumping moves in this entire workout, so I expect a lot from you. Really pushing. We're over that halfway point now, guys. After this, we've got our oblique wood choppers. Keep pushing through. Remind yourself what you finished off at so you can try to keep up with yourself next round. Almost there. And rest. Grabbing that weight that you need for your oblique wood choppers. You've got about 5 seconds before that move begins. And get it, folks. Again, you want to find that tension through the core. You do not want to release that. You have potential of hurting your low back in this move if you do not keep that core tension. If you're just willy-nilly flying that weight around, that is no bueno. We really don't want that. We want to keep tight. We want to keep ready to go here. We've got about 17 seconds remaining in this move. You notice, guys, how Emerson just switched at halfway. You have the option to switch at halfway or to stay on the same side the entire time. You have 3, 2, 1, and rest. Grabbing a really quick sip of water, folks, and then we're popping right back up to the top with our weighted good mornings in 3, 2, 1, and begin. The timer is on. This is the last round of Workout 2.0. Our finisher today, guys, is short, sweet, and extremely effective. So I'm very, very excited to get to that finisher today. I'm sure Emerson can't wait either.
You all better stay for the finisher. No backing down.
Really good work, guys. Keep counting out that timing to yourself. 3 counts down, 1 count up. Keeping your back tight and straight the whole time to encourage the right muscle groups to work to prevent injury. Almost to the end here, and we're moving to that mini jump, tuck jump ladder. Let's try to just keep up with ourselves from the last round. If we're feeling strong, I want you to try to beat yourself from the last round. Set your goal in your head now, and be unrelenting in that goal, folks. That's it. Emerson is getting some height here. He's got hops. Look at him go. Oh yeah, he's counting down in his mind. He is pushing his body hard. I know that this is a hard workout. This is not easy for you to do at this point of the workout, which means that you are gaining mental stamina right now this morning with us. We are almost done. We have less than 10 seconds remaining in this move before we're moving on to those wood choppers, folks. And 1. Were you able to match?
15. One more.
Amazing. So Emerson beat himself by 1. I am so excited about that. I want to know how you guys did there at home. We are moving on to our wood choppers now. Keep in mind, if you want to switch out halfway, that is an option for you. If you do not want to switch out halfway, you can stick on the same side the whole time. Again, you are maintaining that core presence this entire time. You do not want your back to take over. You do not want to go wacky, wavy, inflatable arm flailing tube man on us. That is not what this move is about, all right? We've got about 15 seconds. We've passed that halfway mark. You heard the beep beep. 10 seconds remaining until we move on to that quality finisher. I'm so excited. And rest. Really good work, guys. Clear your workspace. We're about to get into that finisher. So the good news, your finisher is only 3 minutes long, okay? It is the shortest finisher in the history of finishers. However, what does that mean? We're going to make sure that it's highly effective, all right? We are going to do a 3-minute plank. If you fail in that 3-minute plank, you must automatically flip around and complete sit-ups for the remaining time with no breaks, all right? Emerson's got a couple dumbbells here for if he does fail through that plank, that he's got something pulling his toes down to make it a little bit easier for him to get in and out of that position. Now, if you cannot do a full sit-up, you will do crunches based on your mobility. So if you can only get your shoulders up off the floor, that's fine. Work within that range, and that's your version of this move, okay? So we're gonna get started right away. We're gonna put that finisher time up on the clock of 3 minutes. We're gonna get either in high plank or low plank. You're gonna choose which version you like best. And we're gonna get started in 3, 2, 1, and begin. Now guys, let's be totally honest with ourselves. If you are in this plank position and you start feeling things and you're like, oh, this doesn't feel good, flip around and start doing those sit-ups, okay? We are here to improve. We are not here to set ourselves back in any which way, shape, or form. So if at any point this plank is feeling awful, you have a secondary movement that you can go to, and you are still winning, all right? Really breathing and pushing through. Let's talk about what this plank should look like. Your shoulders are directly over top of your hands. You're actively pushing away from the floor to get that nice domed T-spine, okay? Your glutes are engaged, your calves, your legs are all kind of firing up here to assist your core. Your rib cage is tucked up and in to get that nice flat shape through the back. Often, people's rib cages will poke out and it will give them a little bit of an arch through the back. That is not what we want. We want to pull the ribs in. We have an independent movement up in the ribs and in the hips. They need to work together in order for this to look and feel the best it can. We have less than 2 minutes remaining here, folks. You are doing fabulous. If you have moved on and you're doing your sit-ups, be unrelenting with these sit-ups. Make sure that you are resisting gravity on the way down and you're not letting your body slam to the floor. And really drive yourself up, trying to not use momentum, but the power of your core. Look at that. We are over that halfway point. We are almost there, guys. This workout is almost complete. You're doing wonderful things here this morning. This is going to support you through all of your everyday interactions. Are you gardening? Are you outside being busy? Are you walking? Even if you're working and you're sitting, you want that strong core. This is what we're building today. We have just about 1 minute remaining. Emerson is still persevering strong. He's moving in between high plank and low plank. He doesn't want to do sit-ups. He wants to finish off in plank. I know that this is hard work. No piking. We have to stay in that position. If you feel like you need to pike, flip around and start doing sit-ups, folks. We have about 35 seconds remaining. It is a tiny little window of your day. You are almost complete through this core move. After this is done, guys, because I can't see what's happening, I want you guys to let me know if you transitioned over into sit-ups and how long you made it into the plank. You have 14 seconds left in your workout, guys. Breathe through the tension. You can do this. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. You are allowed to let go. Really good work, guys. Couldn't be more proud of you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Thursday morning to burn out that core.
The world record holder has held that low plank for over 6 hours. I think it might even be close to 8 now.
There's nothing
Those
about
3
that
minutes.
that seems interesting to me.
I know.
Could you imagine?
I couldn't.
I couldn't imagine.
That was 3 minutes, and I'm like, that was a good hold to wrap it up.
Yeah.
But 6 to 8 hours?
Yeah, that person must be really good at meditation.
Yeah,
You know, to
I'd
be able
say.
to just sit there and zen
Yeah,
out.
just calm, cool,
So easy.
collective.
Wow. All right, folks, please make sure to check in with us with our sign-in partner of the month, which is #GiveVitamins. We only have the remainder of this week to take advantage of that
2 days
hashtag.
left.
So we are helping provide nutrition for women and children in need who do not have readily accessible nutrition in the area that they are from. So please help us out. It is a very low ratio to hashtags that relates to actual help for people. What was it, 2?
Yes.
2 hashtags
Yeah,
helps. So honestly,
Exactly.
if every single person in this class was to do it, think about how many people we've already helped. So #GiveVitamins, as well as #WeAreProactive. Set up a sweaty selfie. Give us a little GIF or GIF or whatever it's called of what this workout felt like to you.
Big time, guys. Join us tomorrow as well. Charlotte and I will be cooking shepherd's pie. There'll be a vegan or meat-friendly option for you guys at home. We definitely encourage you guys to participate with us. Every Friday we cook something brand new. It's usually an hour or under for us to prep it, to show you guys how to cook it, and then we get to see each other on Zoom in a more casual setting, a little less sweaty, and in the comfort of your own kitchen. So join us this Friday for Shepherd's Pie. Hope to see everybody online then. But again, tomorrow is True Grit Friday. Total Body is going down tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Continue logging in, making exercise a priority every single day. You can do anything as simple as going for a bike ride, a hike, a swim in your pool, or a proactive workout. Try to really incorporate as much physical activity as you can now to keep your bodies and minds in tip-top shape. But that is all for today. Join us for a cool down. I'm going to lead you guys through a stretch because I know exactly what we need right now. Awesome session today, guys. Happy Thursday. Stay for a stretch if you got 5 minutes. All right, guys, we're going to start off by laying on the ground. I love to start off our stretch this way into almost a meditative state, just trying to let our brains and our heart rate come down together. Oftentimes, exercise gives us a heightened sense of energy, and sometimes we're a little bit shaky after the session, so it's often good to calm down and to try and relax, let everything settle in, and slowly regain your breath, slowly regain the feeling in your body. We don't want to leave you feeling numb. Definitely want you leaving feeling well stretched and ready to take on the rest of your day. From here, I want everybody to think about inhaling their right leg as high as they can in the air, absolutely elongating take an inhale, inhale, inhale. As you exhale, I want you to drop your right leg to the left side. Left hand can meet the right leg, pulling it down, trying to keep both shoulder blades planted. This is a nice low back release here. Deep breathing. Iron cross. Just trying to stay relaxed. You might feel a slight stretch through the glute as well, but mainly the low right side here. Amazing. We're going to go into our starfish position again. And we're going to inhale our left leg straight up, absolutely as high as we can go. As we exhale, we're going to cross it over to the right side. Same idea, right hand pushing down the right knee. Both shoulders stay planted. We are breathing. We are controlling our breath, getting everything under control. Beautiful. Okay, you guys, let's come back up to center. Let's pull both knees into our chest here. This is another great low back opener. Very good. Pull those knees in tight to your chest as we rock side to side, back and forth. Head and shoulders can stay on the ground. Massaging that low back here. Beautiful. Both heels are planted firmly on the ground. The left leg is going to cross over top of the right, just where your ankle sits on top of your right quad. Push your left hand down into your left knee. If you're not feeling much of a stretch through your left glute here, you can definitely reach through the void through your legs, grip onto your right hamstring, and pull that hamstring as tight to your body as you can while pushing your left knee away. The more I actively push my left knee away, the more my left glute is going to activate like it is right now, and that is a much better stretch for me than just laying on the ground. But certainly if they're really tight, you might get away with just laying on the ground and pressing the left knee instead of reaching through. All right, you guys, come out of it. Again, heels are down on the ground, crossing your right leg over your left. Again, you want to cross over just where your ankle meets your left quad. From here, oftentimes you might feel a stretch just pressing through your right knee. If you need a little bit more, you reach to the void of your leg, pulling your left hamstring into your body and actively press your right knee away from your body. You are going to feel that right glute for sure, especially after this week's Monday session, Wednesday, and now today. Legs are fired up. Let's spend some extra time on them today. Beautiful. Coming out of it into a seated position, let's cross our right leg over, just behind our bodies here. Right quad stretch here, ladies and gentlemen. Right knee stays on the ground, left leg is up nice and wide. We can hinge back, leaning back, elongating through our right quadricep. Really important that we spend more time stretching. We're sitting more than ever right now. A lot of us are, at least. And so we need to get up and get moving as much as we can. Take out that foam roller, dust it off, lay down on it, and spend some good time on there. You guys will thank yourselves. Your bodies will thank you too. All right, guys, let's switch legs. Left leg is going to be bent behind the body. Again, if you move your right leg further away, you're going to notice a more intense stretch to the left quad. Drop it down onto your forearm here. Reach it, stretch it. Oh, that feels right. That feels right. Another beauty day out there. It hasn't rained yet, so if you haven't been outside, go for a bike ride, a hike. Get out there. Enjoy the day before the rain starts plummeting down. I think around 4 o'clock it's going to hit us hard.
That's good. We need it. We need it bad.
Big time. Awesome job, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our Thursday Meltdown session. Emerson Petrie here, Heather Santemri. We thank you so much for joining us here at the Proactive Studio. Another incredible week it's been, but it's not over yet. Join us tomorrow for True Grit. Have an awesome day. Enjoy the sunshine before it disappears. See you guys.